I can vividly remember the dewiness of my palms while I stood there with my feet weighted to the ground. The room looked like the colors of spilled paint, blue lights running into spotlights, dripping into red exit signs. My body stood still in a fit of nervousness, but my blood rushed through me like rain, cold and quick, leaving goosebumps on the top of my pale skin. I felt it rushing to my head, my lungs, caressing my cheeks and coloring them a crimson red, and I could hear the ever-rapid tick of my heartbeat pounding somewhere deep within my eardrums. I can remember the clinking of glasses and the evaporation of laughter from the older people who stood at the bar. I remember the fuzzy tick of a microphone as a man's fingertips tested the sound. I remember the sultriness of suspense and the way it enroached my lungs and labored my breathing into a slow, haggard rhythm. There were little girls on their toes, trying desperately to see over the flat-footed teenage boys that loomed over them. There were older men standing in the crowd trying to protect their daughters. I saw thousands of hands. Some had tattoos on them, and some had marks on their wrists. Some had bracelets, and some did not. Some had fingernails painted black, and some were balled into fists. Some hung loosely open, as if to catch something, while others were grasped tightly around someone else's, as if not to lose it. With all hands to the sky, all passion fully aroused within the human heart, we welcomed the music. Together we made a sea of colors, a tone bar of the most beautiful flow of grays. We were a fine artist's dream, so uniquely handcrafted with all the principles of unity. We were different colors merged into one soul, brought together by harmonies of voices and the organic sounds of drums. When the band came, all intismal sound evaporated and was ruptured by the uproar of screaming voices. Individual voice was lost. We became a sound machine, dissolving from screams to a thunderous and abstract roar. We were an army, an unstoppable force of passion and beliefs, and at that moment we firmly believed that if anything could bring humanity together, it was this song on this day, during this hour. The dewiness of my hands had dissipated and traveled throughout my body. Small droplets of sweat had collected in the pool of my collarbone and the back of my neck. It dampened my hair and smeared my carefully articulated choice of makeup. My tongue ached for water, but I didn't mind it. I got used to the vibrating ache in the back of my throat for returning the words and giving the lyrics back to the artist that wrote them. I got used to the feeling of singing and only hearing the room. The impalpable perfume of different ethnicities seemed to stifle the atmosphere, but all the final chanting had slowed down into a lower rumble. And the man sitting behind the drums had given all he had. And the vocalists had a neck as red as our faces, and the pounding of the drums were still vibrating your body and your conscience, but you possessed the feeling of being lighter than air. Exhausted in a way that you could close your eyes and sleep instantly only to relive every moment. The faces of people you fell in love with that night, you realize you'll never see again, and that that's okay, because all you needed to know was that they existed, that you're not alone, and that the power of music is a raw one, and that we should all let all of our senses succumb to it.